Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. I'm crazy late to this review, but I thought might as well do it. So I'm glad to say that I was wrong and that Loki's season 2 finale was near perfect and it was a fantastic end to the series, in my opinion. It doesn't require a third season, but it did leave me with a few questions as well. It had a great character development with like great editing that made for some comedic moments as well. And the writing is so well done as well. I for real want Eric Martin to write Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars because he does not miss at all. So basically, from the last episode, Loki travels to before Victor is split apart and tries multiple times to make him go out on the bridge earlier than the previous times. And it doesn't work, right? To no avail. And so he spends centuries learning how the technology works. And just when everything seems to be fine, it falls apart again because the temporal loom, no matter what, like no matter how wide you make the rings that contains the timeline branches in it, will never be able to contain an infinite amount of branches because the timeline is splitting up infinitely, which kind of seems a little bit obvious if you think about it, or so I would think if they knew that the timelines were branching rapidly. But it shows that it happened. And during all this, we see just how stressed and angry Loki is, and he time slips to when Sylvie was about to kill He Who Remains to stop her from trying to do it. But long story short, he's going to have to kill her if he does not want He Who Remains to die. And Loki goes through multiple rounds trying to stop her. And in one of them, he's like, yo, why don't you ever fight back? She's trying to kill you. And it turns out that He Who Remains had been known about Loki time slipping and the multiple times that he's tried to stop Sylvie and had knowledge of it all. And he was just watching and he pauses Sylvie on his tempad and him and Loki have like a chat. And basically, it's revealed that the temporal loom does not just have a scaling problem, it's a failsafe created by He Who Remains that blows up all other timelines except the sacred timeline. So He Who Remains does not die, and he meets Loki, and he says that Loki should kill Sylvie to save the loom, but Loki's not going to do that because she's his friend, and he goes back in time twice. One time to talk to Mobius from the very first episode, and one time to talk to Sylvie when her reality around her was like splitting apart. And Loki learns that one's great purpose requires a heavy sacrifice, and so he rejects He Who Remains' offer and goes back to the loom's destruction and goes on a bridge instead of timing and destroys the loom. You might be wondering what happens then. Like I said, it's not perfect, but a few questions I had in general at this time was just like, how is Loki the chosen one randomly? Like, how was he able to time slip? It's not really explained, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Him and Sylvie would have gone through the same circumstances or like the same amount of like things that happened to them from the season 1 finale. The only difference being that Loki arrived at the pass of the TVA when Sylvie pushed him through the temporal door. So how did he just randomly gain time slipping abilities? It's not really explained, I think, but yeah. So yeah, the loom is now destroyed, and Loki grabs some branches and revives it with his magic, and takes the place of He Who Remains. Except now he doesn't kill branches; he actually keeps them alive. I'm not gonna lie, bro. That's a sad fate for the character. She's never known happiness, I think, and I mean, bro, you can you can cope to yourself and be like, yeah, I'm keeping infinite branches alive right now, but bro, he's never gonna see Thor. He's never gonna see his friends again. He's just gonna keep reality alive for the rest of time. It's just kind of crazy if you ask me. So yeah, you might be wondering what happened to the rest of the TVA and to Sylvie and Mobius. They're still alive, and now their job is to actually catch variants of Kang or He Who Remains. And yeah, they no longer prune branches; they just keep them alive and apprehend He Who Remains variants. And Mobius kind of leaves for some time, or I think forever, to go see his own past variants just to watch from afar, from a distance. And Sylvie goes, whoever knows where. And yeah, that's basically how it ends. If you ask me, this was like a beautiful ending to the show. I don't think you need a season 3. I don't know which villain could arise for a season 3. But I obviously wouldn't mind like a cameo in future from characters in the show in like Secret Wars, Kang Dynasty, other shows. So yeah, And yeah, again, like it's not perfect. I did have a lot of questions. For example, like the one I said earlier, how was Loki the chosen one? What else? Let me see. Actually, I think that's it. That's the only question I had. The other things are just positive things that I liked about it. I also really liked Jonathan Majors' performance as both Richard Timely and He Who Remains. Again, I'm just getting like the vibes of Tom Cavanaugh from The Flash and the multiple Welleses across, the multiverse. So it's really nice how we can differentiate the characters from, this ruler, He Who Remains, and then this like timid person and scientist, Richard Timely, and then this, a conqueror who's actually not really trying to save anything. He just wants to rule over everything. Kang the Conqueror from Ant-Man Quantumania. So yeah, I'm really excited to see. But I just recently heard that they might go away from Kang as a villain for the upcoming phases, which I don't think they should do. But yeah, I'm gonna make another video on that. So yeah, that's about it. God bless.